Real fast, I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Upworthy Weekly. It's a lighthearted news podcast. It comes out on Saturdays, and I have forced my co-host, Todd Perry, to join me here to help me tell you about our new venture. Todd, why should they listen?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, they think, oh, it's the Upworthy podcast. It's just going to be sunshine and it's going to be unicorns. But you know what? It's really not that. Alison doesn't have the ability. She doesn't have it in her to actually be that person that I thought we were hiring when we did this show. But clearly, after just a couple episodes, the facade dropped. Okay? I thought, she's doing the Upworthy show. It's not going to be like, oh, neurotic, cynical Alison, but no, she's there. So, I try to counteract that with some of my good vibes.
I would argue that if one person is coming off as a little bit cynical and unhinged right now, it's not me.
It comes out every Saturday, wherever you get podcasts.
Bye.
Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone, hi, hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. I am sitting here in my studio on a Saturday evening. It is an unusual record time, and I'm sitting here in person with my husband, Daniel Quantz. It is a special Just Daniel and Me episode. My computer is packed with your voicemails, and we have special things planned. I feel like I should have some kind of what's that annoying beep, 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 beep.
It's like the Vuvuzuela.
Is that what that is?
Or no?
No. I feel like a Vuvuzuela, which is that Brazilian soccer menacing
Oh, no.
sound,
What you're talking about is that
like a T-shirt cannon.
That hip-hop morning radio thing where it's like, meow, 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 meow,
I bet Tony has that sound effect. Tony, play it right now and bother everyone. Tony, be a menace right now with that. It goes like, pew, 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 pew. But what is it supposed to be?
It's like a siren.
Yeah.
It's like a meow, meow.
What does a vuvuzela sound like?
I don't know.
I associate it with soccer because Dustin went to...
It is. It's a soccer. It's like a plastic horn.
Dustin went to... Is it possible that they use vuvuzelas in Venezuela?
I think it's in South America. Yeah, I think I heard about it when it was in Brazil, so it's probably in Venezuela.
My brain just wants to say Venezuela because it sounds like vuvuzela. That's like that. My brain is going. That's like they're like. I feel like there was like a sexy lady who wore a bikini. Is there some sexy lady who wore a bikini from some place that sounds like bikini? Nursery rhyme.
You lost me.
I
don't know what's happening.
It's not a nursery rhyme. It's like whatever the next level of nursery rhyme is when they begin to get a little racy, and it's not a dirty limerick either. Let's move on. You guys, my brain is the word labile, mushy. My brain is very mushy right now, so I don't know. Anything could happen. But anyway, Daniel and I are here. I don't have a lot going on upstairs. I have been sick for now a number of days. And I was looking at TikTok earlier, and there was a woman who posted something about just being really sick with all the COVID symptoms. She's like, I've been sick for like 2 weeks. I have all the COVID symptoms. I have not been sicker in a really long time. Like, what medical professionals, what is this? And I don't know that medical professionals weighed in, but apparently this is going around. People are like sicker than they've ever been. I had a tingle in my throat on Tuesday, and I thought there's no way I'm getting sick because Daniel has been very sick recently, and what he had, I think I already had it. So then on Wednesday, when I woke up and my throat was on fire, I thought, this is like Groundhog Day. Like, how is someone in this house always sick? But then I was like in bed for a couple days with, I know no one cares, so I'm going to try to make this fast. I mean, you guys probably care, but I don't care to hear myself talk about this again. So anyway, it is just unbelievable. And I know that you guys are probably all dealing with it too, because everyone's sick. And this idea that we're all sick because we were all inside for a couple years, I don't know if that's true. Daniel, take it away and save everyone from this pathetic beginning of a show, except for the Vuvuzela Venezuela.
I just wonder if it's possible, like, that we're just slowly passing it back, the same bug, and it just like
but that
keeps
doesn't
going
quite
around.
make sense, because you should have some immunity.
I don't know if is it true though that you get immunity to like a cold though? Because it was not that. What I got, I had a slight fever. It kind of sucked for a couple days, but it wasn't terrible. You know, like I had a little bit of a cough, a little bit of a sore throat. It was just like a little bit of a cold.
This was you, Daniel. You woke up, you shuffled into the bathroom. Your voice was like 8 pitches lower, and you're like, "Oh, I am really sick." You stood over the toilet, coughed, and you went, "Uh-oh." And I was like, "Oh no, did blood come up?" That's what I thought, because you went, "Uh-oh." And you said, and I said, "What?" Thinking you coughed up blood or pissed blood, and you went, "I am really sick."
That's so good.
And I thought, "Oh no." And then I was this is gonna brace yourself for what's going to be mildly insulting. And I was vaguely panicked. And I was like, can you still take the kids to school? Because I was in no shape to take the kids to school, seeing as my hair was very dirty. So then
How is that insulting?
I haven't gotten to it yet. So you said you could take the kids to school. I was ready, though, if I had to take the kids to school, despite the fact that my hair was very dirty. Okay. If you needed me to, I could have done it. Mm-hmm. It would have been not pretty, literally, but I could have. So, because for anyone who's wondering, the division of labor in the morning is, after we traded back and forth for months of one morning, I get them ready, take them. The next morning, Daniel gets them ready, takes them. And I don't mind getting up early and getting them ready, but I hate driving. And Daniel hates getting up early and getting them ready, but doesn't mind driving. And we thought, let's be smart about this. So now I get up early and get them ready every morning.
It works great.
And Daniel drives them every morning, except for when he's pissing and coughing up blood.
Which I wasn't.
Which he wasn't. So anyway, despite the fact that you were pissing and coughing up blood, but you weren't, took them to school. And I was like all nervous about it. Like, oh God, I hope he doesn't pass out in the car. Oh no, what's happening? Do you need to like cancel your whatever you have planned today and go to urgent care? Are you dying? What's happening? Here's the insulting part. And then I stopped myself and I thought, wait a second. You're sick. You probably have like bronchitis or something. You have something that has what?
I didn't. Go ahead.
You have something, you have garden variety sickness that has moved into your chest, but you're not dying. And I'm going to insult half of society. So half of society and my husband, brace yourself. In general, sometimes men can be a little dramatic. After I just bitched for 3 minutes about how I have a cold, can be a little dramatic in the telling of how sick they are. So despite the fact that you're like, I'm so sick, you're really not you're not dying. You just feel very bad and I don't need to panic. That's what I told myself. Maybe it's not that insulting.
So would you say that your sickness in the last few days is you being really, how bad did you feel? Or were you being overtly dramatic?
You know what? Maybe I took what you were saying to be more, I took it on face value and ran with it. Sort of like back in my substance abusing days, I got into a cab in Austin and the driver coughed a lot and he said, "Excuse me, I'm dying." And I spent the whole cab ride thinking, oh my God, he's dying. Because I was like Amelia Bedelia and took everything very literally. And only years later did I realize he was joking because he couldn't stop coughing.
He was exaggerating.
Yes. It was the thing you say when you like have something in your throat. But I truly like 100% was like, oh my God, this is one of his last cab rides. He's dying. So my point being, I took it like you were really like really emphasizing how sick you were, but really maybe you were just saying like how uncomfortable you were.
No, I was sick, but I wasn't so sick that I couldn't take him to, like, I could push through it.
Yeah.
And it was, and I've also been a lot sicker. What I'm saying is like, it sucked.
Yes.
I was kind of like laid out for about a day and a half, and I still have this lingering cough and this phlegm and congestion. But like on the scale of things, like last Christmas, I got way sicker. So I'm just saying, like, it's not the flu; it's just like a cold. And so.
When you left, I thought you were alarmingly sick. Like something's definitely wrong here. Level sick.
You say that I'm overly dramatic. I think
no,
perhaps
I don't.
The answer is that you're a wuss and can't push through it, and I can push through it. So you're assuming I can't push through it because if you were that sick, you'd be laid out. Burn.
Well, I would like everyone to write in and let me know what they think of that exchange, please. And if they are feeling the same thing that I'm feeling from that exchange, but if they're not, don't write in. Thank you. Or do. Wow, honey.
I mean, I'm not saying that's the case.
No, you're just entering that.
Excuse me, you just said that I was being overly dramatic.
I took it back.
I didn't hear that part.
I adjusted what I was saying. I adjusted it to perhaps perhaps the miscommunication was in between what you said and the way I heard it.
So what you're saying is perhaps there was you overreacted, or perhaps I'm a wuss who's overly dramatic. Who knows? Who knows which it is? Could be one, could be the other.
No. Probably what happened was so you don't think you presented it like it was an alarming level of sickness? Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase.
Level of sickness means.
Let me rephrase. When you left the house, had you presented your illness as if it was an alarming, concerning level of sickness where we would need to call in medical professionals? Or did I just hear it that way?
You heard it that way.
Okay. Because you have to realize I'm also coming from a lot of recent family medical emergencies. Yes. So I might be primed to not hear things correctly. Like I spent some time a lot of time at the hospital recently, like dealing with family stuff, like very scary life and death stuff. So I might be prone to be like, oh shit, now it's happening in my marriage. You know what I mean? So maybe I heard it not in an inaccurate way.
I don't mind you being overly concerned. I woke up feeling really shitty. And so I was like, ugh, I'm feeling really shitty. And I wasn't, that's it.
You literally said, I'm so sick.
Yeah, I'm so sick.
Right. So you don't think you left the house having presented it like it was a near emergency in terms of what was going on in your body?
No.
I think I misconstrued.
If it had been, I'm trying to think like how I would behave.
Maybe not an emergency, but like something's really awry.
But if
in
something
your
was
body.
really awry, I wouldn't be leaving the house. Like it would be a whole different snenario.
Okay. Has anyone enjoyed this 13 minutes? I know I have.
Good.
I would like to apologize for everyone. We just needed to iron this out, and now we can move on.
This is our therapy. What's next?
Well, listen, we have a lot of calls. I think we should get to those. Yeah, let's just play a call. Okay, Here we go.
Hi, Allison and Daniel. It's Alison in Pennsylvania, who also happens to be married to a Daniel.
I'm sorry.
And spells my name the correct way with one L and no Y. How's it going? Well, it's going pretty good here. Pretty quiet. It's a lovely fall day. I know you guys don't get a lot of lovely fall days in California. I'm making soup today. But I wanted to weigh in on if Daniel was wrong, but I'm not sure what he could be wrong about. My husband, Daniel, is usually not wrong about things, so maybe go with that. Yeah. If one Daniel is right, then maybe most Daniels are right. Anyways, have a fun Halloween. Your family costume sounds really cute. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean...
Again, this was Allison from Pennsylvania.
Allison from Pennsylvania.
Allison from Pennsylvania. I love the Allison sandwich. The Quantz method for leaving a voicemail is to say your name at the beginning and the end, and we love when people remember to do that. Thank you.
Although, given I wasn't going to forget this time because it's Allison Day, but she brings up a good point about Daniel's being right. I think it's something that people should think about more often. Yeah.
Here's a drop. I don't know what it said. Let's see.
I don't really believe that. Not appropriate.
What about this one?
Eat a big old bag of dicks, eat a big old bag of dicks, eat a big old bag of dicks, eat a bag of dicks. I have recently dusted off the GIF of eat a bag of dicks, and I sent it to like Ted Cruz or something. Okay, so...
So you think that she has a point?
I think an interesting point that's worth thinking about, which is really like kind of provocative idea.
Allison from Pennsylvania might be a provocateur in a way.
Well, I mean, I just think she's onto something.
All right.
About Daniels.
How did you feel when she said she was making soup? Because you kind of perked up.
I thought I could go for some homemade soup. That sounds yummy right now.
Speaking of family costumes, I had a moment earlier. So for anyone who's been living under a rock, our family costumes were decided before last year's Halloween? Or like concurrent with last year's Halloween?
Yeah.
We're going as the Addams Family. Elliot is...
He did not change his mind all year.
No. You know those kids who decide what they're going to be when they're 3 and then they actually become that? I really think...
No. Does that happen?
I feel like just maybe sometimes. Okay. I really think it's possible Elliot will be a baker and have a restaurant called Chefs and Bakers.
I mean, I can't imagine.
I know.
Yeah.
And then he wants to be the pastry chef.
He'll be pissed because he's like, this isn't what I want to do, but I decided.
I have to be it. Yeah. But so anyway, Elliot's going to be Thing. Daniel's going to be Lurch. Is your mom going to be Gomez?
Okay.
Gomez. So I guess she's going to be betrothed to me because I'm Morticia. Wendy's going to be Wednesday. Poor Wendy. Explain what happened when you put Wendy, our dog, in the Wednesday outfit.
Well, first it was going to be Owen who was going to be Wednesday, and then I told Elliot, like, you can't not give him a choice of what he wants to be, and then so Owen chose Pugsley, and so it fell to Wendy to be Wednesday. My mom made a yarn wig with the pigtails, and I got a Wednesday dress for like little girls, and I put it on Wendy, and she, this is the way she is when I put her into dresses, which I've done before for costumes, is just to look at me like, what what the hell are you doing?
Why?
She fucking hates me. She's just like, what? Why? Why must we go through? Why
every
are you doing
year,
this?
every year.
Yeah.
There was one time that we tried to see if she wanted to swim. We were staying at an Airbnb in Palm Springs, and they had one of those pools that has that like toddler ledge where it's like 3 inches of water. So we put her in that, and she just froze and just stood there as the water kind of went back and forth, and her fur kind of like undulated in the water, and she just stood there staring at us like, what? And that is what she does when you put clothing on her.
Yeah.
So she loves it. So anyway, I bought 2 Morticia dresses with the idea that one would go back, and I put one on today, and it is cheap crushed velvet, and it's got this like zigzag bottom, and it is so full of static electricity that when I like pulled it over my body, it was like you can hear it just crinkling and like sticking, like all my hair was like standing out on end. And it's like sticking to my body, and it's got these like ruffly things that are like, you know, it's like glued to the sleeves basically because there's so much static electricity in it. So that's one dress. And then the other dress is just a black dress that's like way more comfortable, but it's not as specifically Morticia. So, the whole situation reminded me, it's been a long time since I've worked for a boss. However, I remember like back in the magazine days, you would have 2 or 3 ideas that you would be taking to a boss. And there was one that you liked way more than the other one. And you were just like, I really like, please, please, please choose the one that is so much better. Like going to the editor-in-chief with a couple ideas of what to do for the Valentine's Day issue. And like, please, please, please choose the one that's like clearly the superior idea and doesn't involve like work that's going to be demoralizing or embarrassing or hard to pull off. Or there was one fucking day that I was forced to call at 5:30 on a Friday. I was tasked with finding out how many pounds of heirloom tomatoes chefs in New York use in a year. And I was like, you realize there's no way we can find this out at 5:30 on a Friday, which was seen as insolent, if I'm using that word correctly. And I was just like, fine. Anyway, now I've moved on to bigger and better.
Did you find out?
No. I was able to reach someone at like a farmer's market, and I had to do some fancy math of like, all right, if I times this by this, by this, by this. But it was like not a very accurate answer. No, not at all. And I was trying to tell them that. It was very frustrating.
A little peek behind the curtain of the newsroom.
That's right.
Well, pretty much all the numbers are
bullshit.
Bullshit.
Well, this was Time Out New York, but still. But yeah, no, it is a newsroom. The features pod. But anyway, so it was like going to Elliot, and he is my Halloween boss, and being like, oh God, I hope he approves the dress that I want him to approve. And I know that some people are going to have an issue with me saying my 5-year-old is my fashion boss. However, he is. And he really preferred the staticky crushed velvet dress. However, thankfully, when I explained the static issue to him, he understood and he allowed me to wear the other one. So It's okay.
I mean, in general, I think
You think he's reasonable?
No, I think we give him too many choices.
Oh, of course. And too much power.
Yeah, but in this case, it's like he's the only audience for this Halloween shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. You don't care. Like, it's just making him happy, so why not ask him? It's fine.
Well, he has a lot of opinions. I mean, I wanted to just wear my navy blue dress from last year, and he made a strong plea for a black dress.
I have to say, like, you know, you go, well, you know, you think of the people out there who are like, you do too much or whatever. But I made we have this like little nook next to the kitchen that is, you know, we have some bench. What would you call it? Banquette. We have a banquette seating and a table, whatever. And I got those stretching portraits from the Haunted Mansion, and I put them up. and then I made some sconces with some spooky candles and everything, and just really like made it look really cool and spooky. And it was kind of a bit of effort, way more I think than was really called for. No one asked for the sconces. But then, then I kind of cleaned an area up. I put up some changing portraits, and I made the whole like front area of our house like really like cool, like Halloween.
He installed a track. Now we have doom buggies.
Not yet. That's next year. But anyway, I did all that, and he was just on cloud 9, and he was like dancing around, and I heard him saying like, "My wish came true. My wish came true." And I was like, "What do you mean your wish came true?" He's like, "I wished that this house would be really spooky," and it is. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It felt good. It's like,
that's nice.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think that's good to try to do things like that for your kids. Like their lives are going to be hellacious. So like if their childhoods can be good, that's good.
Can we talk about the irony, though, of the fact that I live in a horror house? I live in a hell house, and I am the most scared person in the whole universe.
So I made these sconces. It's like a whole thing.
If they want to go see the sconces, is there a place you know what you should do?
I'll post something.
You should make a highlight. Do you do the highlights on your Instagram?
I'll do a Insta story, and then I'll make it so they can see it. But the candles like flicker, whatever. And and Alison came in to look. And then first of all, let me just explain like the amount of just compromise and negotiation just to get her to agree to slightly dim the lights every night so we can watch TV. Like this woman wants full 3-camera stage lighting all times everywhere she goes. This is like
I can't look. I don't know if it's my rods. I don't know if it's my cones. I cannot see well when the light is dim.
Yeah.
It's not just that I have seasonal affective disorder 365 days of the year. It is, and I'm being glib. What I mean, it's not just that like I feel better in full lighting, but when it's dim, I cannot see well. Right. And I'm like, I'll sit there struggling to read something or struggling to see something. And then I think, why not just turn on the light? That would ameliorate this problem. So I do not understand people who,
Okay, nerd. She's like, I gotta read. I can't read my books.
I'm not trying to read books. I'm trying to read labels.
You're still a nerd.
Well, yeah, I am. But
so she comes into the room and Alex is like, look, mommy. And you're like, oh, this is great. And then, and then you pull me aside a little bit later and you're like, you said something to the effect of like, this might be too scary for me.
It was so, okay.
This might be too scary for me. Like
it's too spooky for me, I said.
Too spooky for you.
This is too spooky for me because it's, so the nook with the banquette is like an actual recreation of the haunted mansion.
Well, it's close. I mean, as close as we can get without really like doing wallpaper and like it's just the portraits and the sconces.
It's very real to life. So that is it's very immersive. But
he was also playing the haunted mansion song,
and all the lights were right. Okay. And then there's a bird skeleton in the corner, and then there's a raven whose eyes light up, and then there's the Miss Leota, Madame Leota, who's the floating head. And then there's a cauldron. Was the cauldron there?
No, the cauldron was not.
There was like everywhere you look, there's scary shit going on now. Was there a skeleton there? Now there's a skeleton. And the scary shit multiplies every single day. Like it's like I'm living in a haunted house now. And the lights are out completely, and the haunted mansion soundtrack is loud. So our bedroom is in one area of the house, and then there's the haunted mansion attraction, and then the kids' rooms are on the other side of the house. So you have to walk through the Haunted Mansion attraction to get to Owen and Elliot's room.
She's like, if something happens in the middle of the night, I'm not going to be able to go to their room because she's going to have to walk through the haunted area of the house. So I was tasked with if anything happens, I have
because Owen lately has been calling for us in the middle of the night, and it's always like, I need you to open my egg. He has like these egg toys that he's manipulating us, but we're too tired to like let him cry. It's a whole thing. But anyway, like he'll call us for no reason. But anyway, it's just easier to just go in than to listen to him bitch. So anyway, but now I can't go because someone will snatch my soul. So Daniel now has to. So the trade-off is that Daniel goes because I'm too scared to walk through this like miasma of bullshit.
I mean, it's just so funny to me that
I live in this house.
Well,
Same.
that is funny. It is funny. But that it's that scary to you. It's like, what are you?
I used
actually,
miasma wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just.
What am I afraid of?
Yeah, like it's obviously our house. It's obviously like all fake stuff. Like, do you get fooled in the middle of the night into thinking you've somehow stumbled into a Victorian era haunted mansion?
Aren't you ever afraid of mirrors?
Afraid of mirrors?
Yeah.
What? Honey, I know that you don't look great without makeup, but you're not. It's not that scary.
Don't you ever sit up in the dark and just go, ugh, because
about what?
Things you see in the dark, especially involving mirrors. Don't you ever get afraid of nothing?
I'm going to repeat something, and I really want this to sink in. I know people think, oh, Daniel, America's funny man. He's always making jokes and haha. But like seriously though, on the real tip, is that what the kids say? You should not be afraid of ghosts. Okay, if you wake up in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. This is Daniel's ghost theorem.
And there is a fucking ghost. That is the best news that you have ever received. Okay? That is, you should pray that when you go into the kitchen, there are actually ghosts hanging out in our haunted mansion nook. Okay?
But what if they mean me harm?
What harm could a ghost cause you? They're
Have
ghosts.
you not seen Skeleton Key?
Honey, they're ghosts. They'll throw a punch and it goes whoosh right through you. It's like, come on, tough guy. What are you going to do? You're going to throw a spoon at my head? Like, they're ghosts. They're ghosts. Okay? They're ghosts. They're good news. They're proof of life after death. It's good.
Have you seen The Exorcist?
That wasn't a ghost story. That was a demon. That is a demon possessing a child.
What if a demon wants to possess me?
All right. Well, then we can talk.
Well,
we're not talking about demons, hun. We're talking about ghosts.
Well,
are you afraid of demons? Is that what you're afraid of? Demons?
I don't know. I'm afraid of all of it. I'm afraid
honestly,
of all. Hang on.
Honestly, demons would be good news too.
Daniel,
a little scarier because they could do you harm, but still.
I'm
proof
afraid
of
all the things that are in the section of the horror section of Blockbuster Video.
Like, here's what you should be
I'm afraid of Rosemary's Baby. I'm afraid of They Live. I'm afraid of Exorcist. I'm afraid of Chud. Is that a horror movie?
Okay, all right. Let's.
I'm afraid of John Carpenter's.
You're putting a lot of stuff on the table here, and
I'm afraid of.
You're gish galloping me right now. Is what you're doing. You're gish galloping.
I want to. I'm sea lining you now. I'm trying to remember what that means. Well, I just wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah,
you seem to be getting upset.
Yeah.
Could you just give me an example of one time I gish galloped you?
Okay, the supernatural stuff.
That's what I'm afraid of.
The stuff where it's like demons or ghosts. That's good news. That's the good news stuff. That's if you see that stuff, that's like fuck yeah. If it's werewolves or vampires,
I'm not afraid of any of that. Interestingly,
or Frankenstein monsters. Oh well, that's different. That's science. But like werewolves and vampires,
that's science.
or like chud monsters and stuff like that, like, or alien monsters, like that's kind of cool because it's like supernatural, but that's like not good because they're scary and they can harm you.
Now,
Well,
it's Alison's show.
and then there's the third category of
That
horror
was
movie
that was
stuff.
a live drop.
The third category of horror stuff, which is the stuff really that
Serial killers,
that
which
middle
doesn't
stuff-
scare me.
The middle stuff you shouldn't be afraid of because it doesn't exist. Okay, spoiler alert: there's no fucking vampires. The third category of stuff that does exist.
Weirdly, doesn't scare me. That I'm not afraid of that. Except I was recently just talking about the fact. Why was I? I guess I was talking about. Was I talking about it with Greg? Who was I talking about this with? I don't know. Someone. I was talking about attractive serial killers. It sounds like we were glorifying it, but we really weren't.
But you know,
but I really was afraid of the Night Stalker when he was down in Orange County. Like that was a very scary
that's
summer.
the kind of stuff that, like, if you're gonna be afraid of something,
That wasn't like a horror movie fear, though. That was like real fear.
right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. When I wake up, I'll get startled awake in the middle of the night. It's like, global warming.
Yeah, I know.
For
Those
me,
are your
it's like
boogeymen.
more existential, like or like, oh god, I might have cancer.
Yes, I know.
It's that I don't get afraid of like anything.
Well, I don't. As now that I'm a grown up and I have children, I don't normally get afraid of these things. But, and by the way, we're just talking about different places that free floating anxiety and fear goes. It's just, different manifestations of it. But as a young person, this stuff did scare me a lot. And like, I don't actually believe in any of it, but for some reason, the supernatural stuff did frighten me.
Well, as a kid, it frightened the shit out of me.
But like I said, I don't actually believe in any of it, so I don't know why it really like unnerved me. But like that fucking movie Skeleton Key, I saw it in the theater, and I normally don't watch any of this stuff, but my boyfriend at the time was a film critic, and he had to review it, and I went with him.
Is it Roger Ebert?
It was Roger Ebert. Yes.
Oh,
I went with him. Did you know that I dated him?
Wait, have you not told them about your affair with Roger Ebert yet?
No. Well, not by name. I went to it with Robert Ebert, and
his brother.
and I was laughing. In the theater, we were all laughing at it because it's like a ghost story.
Horror movies with a full crowd.
Yeah.
There's a lot of laughter.
But then like mirrors are a thing in the movie. Oh. And then I got back to my apartment and I was like, uh-oh, I'm afraid of this mirror. Mm-hmm. And there's a song that, my grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. Yeah. And I was like, uh-oh, I can't listen to that.
Was it New Orleans?
Yeah, it's in New Orleans. Is it New Orleans? It's in...
That's like a Southern New Orleans song, isn't it?
Maybe. It's in, not New Orleans. The French Quarter. That is New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I want to say it's in Lafayette.
You make me want to watch this movie. Was this Halle Berry?
No, it's Kate Hudson. It's Peter Sarsgaard. It's,
Peter Sarsgaard can be scary.
What's her name?
Naomi Watts?
Gina Rowlands.
Happen?
Gina Rowlands, I think.
Oh, okay.
And
Gina Davis.
No, I think it's Gina Rowlands. Older. And yeah, it's like in the swamp.
I love a good swampy story.
Yeah, I mean, and it involves like what's that? Hoodoo.
That's what sucked about True Blood. Can I just sidebar?
Let me just finish and then we can full bar. So anyway, I was like, that song's going to scare me now. And I was just freaked out. And by the way, I lived in a small apartment at the time. So I was like, I can have my back against the wall and I can have eyes on every single... Oh, there's a whole thing with eyes in the movie. I can have my eyes on every single thing in this. But there's like a whole race relations thing in the movie that was a very unnerving.
Oh,
I can have my eyes...
into your fear of black people?
Daniel, I can have my eyes on every single thing in this apartment. And I was still scared.
Yeah.
So I really don't freak out that much, but I'm just saying every now and then, you wake up in the middle of the night, your unconscious is sort of like up, you've had some dreams, and you see a shape that is, you're semi-dreaming, you see a shape and it just spooks you and you don't want to walk through the haunted mansion.
Talk to it.
Oh, shut up.
Just be like, hey, what are you doing here? like they're just a fucking spooky ghost.
All
Maybe
right.
they want to talk to you.
True blood, you say?
Well, first of all, I know what you're talking about. I used to feel that all the time as a kid, but then I grew out of it.
Yeah, I don't feel it that much. I just don't want to walk
True
through
Blood took place in Louisiana, in the Bayou, and one character had a Cajun accent.
Mm-hmm.
One, okay, which is some bullshit because that's a fucking kick-ass accent that I love. I can never get tired of listening to. The place has unbelievable culture, just like so unique and interesting. That show tapped into none of it, and nevertheless, it had a fucking opening credit sequence that
so good.
Promised that. And so every time I watch that fucking show, I'd be like, it was a letdown the second the show started because you're like, well, it's not the opening credits anymore. So. Anywho,
I really liked that show, and then remember how it was like we couldn't stick around till the end. We just couldn't.
It was stupid. But
listen, we got another.
More calls.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm from North Dakota. I saw your post to reach out, so that's what I'm doing. Here are the answers to your questions. I am not dressing up. However, my kids will be in store-bought costumes that consist of an airplane, Vampirina, and Rubble from Paw Patrol. My favorite short joke is, what do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Of course, Daniel's wrong. My favorite recent episode was probably the one with Jackie Johnson. I'm a sucker for a birth story. My favorite Halloween candy are Reese's, so I don't steal all of my children's because I want them to enjoy the magic too. And it's going well. We all have minor colds right now, but the weather is beautiful. It's like 50 degrees today, so we are going to go outside and play shortly. I hope you're doing well too. Bye.
Do you remember what her name was, Daniel?
Jessica?
Yes, good. Jessica, thank you. I enjoyed that joke. I've never heard that
That's
before.
a very funny joke.
I should probably explain. So oftentimes my prompt is just, how's it going out there? Call in and let us know. Aim for a minute or less. But this time I'm like, some ideas. Are you dressing up? What's your favorite or least favorite Halloween candy? Is Daniel wrong? Some thoughts on a recent favorite episode. What's your favorite short joke? Blah, blah, blah. And thankfully people understood I meant brief joke, not like short the joke about short people or something like that, because I'm like, uh-oh.
Wait, you think someone could hear a short joke and they would think you mean, what's your favorite joke about short people?
I don't know. I just was suddenly worried that I should have written brief joke.
I call them shorts. When I see short people, I just call them shorts. Is that short over there?
I don't know. Look, I read Truly Tasteless jokes when I was young. Sometimes my brain goes to a tasteless place.
Right.
Anyway, Jessica is referring to my Patreon bonus episode of The Friend Zone with Jackie Johnson, where she got very candid about her birth story. Thank you for mentioning that episode. And Tony, will you please insert the Patreon drop here?
Patreon.
I just wanted to give a shout out.
Just for everyone, do you sometimes want to call her Jackie Johansson?
I've never wanted to.
I don't know why my brain, you know how your brain just gets like this sort of.
Are you thinking of Amy Jo Johnson?
No, Johansson.
Jackie Johansson. Or Jake Johansson?
Yeah, I think it's a play on Jake Johansson in my brain. And it's not that I think her name is Jackie Johansson. It's just that it's like,
no, there's
it's
things
like the same way when I hear Eddie Pepitone's name, I want to say
Pepitotini?
I want to call him Eddie Pepitini.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know why. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
What did Trump say that was something like that, where you're like, oh, he's never heard that word?
Yeah, he's only seen it written down.
Right. What was it though?
I don't remember.
Okay, good.
He's done that a lot though.
But I once heard something, and by that I mean saw on TikTok, that you should actually, but I don't want to let that douche off the hook, but like you should actually never make fun of someone for mispronouncing a word that.
Because it means they read it.
Yeah. Because it means like this person reads.
But
there's exceptions.
Yeah, but it's okay to make fun of nerds. So.
Speaking of words. No. I'm going to write this down because I need to finish what I was saying. Speaking. Okay, words is with a star. Coming back to that because I was talking about Patreon. Patreon. Bonus episodes, The Friend Zone. Got the Jackie one. And then I just had Mary Catherine Ham on. And that was a very interesting episode. She just went through something at CNN, which she's written about. So I think I can talk about it. They took her off the air for 7 months and she didn't know why.
Oh, wow.
They just stopped booking her.
And they didn't, no explanation.
No
Just
explanation. They just ghosted her. So she thought, which is like not that uncommon.
Is she on contract or is it just
Yes.
like, okay.
She is an on-air contributor. So she gets paid no matter what, but they just stopped using her. So she thought
This is after the change in management?
before.
Before.
Yeah. So she thought that they just were kind of done with her. She didn't really know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's the changing of the guard there.
Yeah.
And she gets a call and she finds out that she was being punished for something she had tweeted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, hey, so, the old guard had a problem with your tweet. So they thought it best to like not use you for a while, but now we can have you back. And
Was this the N-word tweet?
no, it was like such a nothing. And
That's so crazy, though.
and by the way, and she's like, oh, why didn't you tell me? Well, they thought it best not to tell you because you just had a baby. Can
What?
you fucking, I know. Can
I
you
mean,
fucking believe that?
CNN, man, it's like...
So she debated what to do because she could have just gone back
Yeah.
and she'd be on air right now. And that was the advice of a lot of
Oh, she
peers.
didn't- she didn't do
No,
it?
she couldn't. She was too like,
Pissed.
yeah, there's more to it. And I'm,
Oh, so she done with CNN now?
I don't know, most likely because she wrote about it.
She should go to Newsmax.
So, I mean, she was just like, I have a choice here. I can be quiet and go back, but can I live with myself if I do that?
But it's different management now. So it's like you're not acquiescing to the people who did it. It's like different
But she
people.
couldn't, yes, but no one would acknowledge that what they had done was, no one would acknowledge that it was a little bit messed up. Like the person who told her was still kind of chewing her out about her tweet. There's more details to it.
Interesting.
The tweet had to do with Jeffrey Toobin, actually. Like, and so ultimately,
they're like sensitive about Jeffrey Toobin's situation.
yeah. So Jeffrey Toobin,
Fuck that guy.
Jeffrey Toobin, get this. Toobin got iced out for 8 months for what he did. And Mary Catherine got iced out for 7 months for what she
Yeah,
did.
that's
And
crazy.
all she did was mention him in a tweet.
I mean, I don't know.
There's more to it. Listen to the episode. There's more to it. She stood by her principles based on what she felt was right. And I think that there probably, I admire what she did because she's just like, I want to set an example for my daughters. I need to call out like BS when I see it. And so she wrote about it and she doesn't know what's going to happen, but like most likely.
I will say, and this is like sort of related, but people go, oh, misogynists will go, we can't have women in charge because they're so emotional. And it's like, in my experience, largely the men in charge, they are such emotional, petty bitches. Like the guy, I mean, talking about the dudes at the top.
Yeah.
They can be such sensitive, like take offense at the slightest thing and punish people. Not at all what you would think.
But to not tell someone because they just had a baby,
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
just crazy.
That's so upsetting to hear. So anyway, you can get that episode, audio and video level where you can text me, I'll text you back. I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Higher level where you'll stop texting them back.
Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. Subscribe for a year and get 2 months free. I feel I cut you off, Daniel. Did I?
No.
I think it might be time for the creme de la creme segment.
Oh, right. You pestered me until I did another cool beans. And so
Yeah.
here we are.
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, and lima beans, red beans, mung beans, navy beans, and fava beans. Really be nice or really be mean. It's time for Daniel's Cool Beans.
It's such a good song, and I kind of am pissed at Tony for doing such a good song, because now I am forever being asked to do this segment.
It's true. I was like, Daniel, just write something so we can listen to the song, please.
All right, so here we go. Are you ready?
I mean, talk about a reluctant bean reviewer.
It's not so much a bean review anymore.
What is it? A bean aficionado? A bean enthusiast?
It's kind of like bean updates.
That's fine.
All right. Well, as everyone in this room is aware, there have been major developments in the world of beans this past few weeks. I am referring, of course, to the reemergence of black beans into the nightly menu of yours truly. Having taken a beans hiatus, a sabbatical, if you will, I was surprised and delighted by my own interest in exploring the ingenious ways one can vary and modulate the subtle flavors of these dark-rinded legumes. One evening, I added some umami flavoring from Joe the Trader. Another, I sprinkled in some taco seasoning to complement the green corn tamales purchased from the abuelitas in South Tucson. Regardless of the clever seasonings and mindful pairings, one thing stayed consistent from day to day and night to night. And that was the sonorous, earthy, and ever-renewing farts that I was pounding into car, home, and throughout the city of Burbank. In particular, our living room couch has been punished by my renewed interest in beans. My dearest wife, Alison, has even wondered if it may not be suitable for an ass other than my own after this. The windy season, my personal El Nino. Now, you may be wondering, what about Beano? Well, while it is true that on several nights my Beano intake was ill-timed, I have been consistent in my intake. The truth, it seems, is that it is either a poor defense or, and I shudder at this thought, it has been effective. In summation, I've been farting a lot. Okay.
I just peed a little.
So there you go.
Oh, honey, that was so good. See?
Not a lot of bean happenings in the world.
But you put them all into the segment.
There you go.
That was wonderful. It's true, you guys. This morning, I walked out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Not that nothing happened in there.
No.
And straight over to the bed and announced to Daniel, who's been needing inspiration, I said, "Oh my God, your farts. It's from the beans."
Right. You made the connection. Honey.
I did, like Columbo. No,
Yeah.
I've been like Carrie in Homeland. I've had lots of pieces of paper up on the wall with lines, and I've been up all night.
Well, you for a while you stared at the wall, and on one side it had a picture of a couch, and on the other side a can of beans. You're like, what?
What is the connection?
What?
And I kept just taking thumbtacks out of
Right.
a map of Burbank and moving them around.
Yeah.
But really, because both you and I have been wondering, what is the meaning of this? And the couch, too.
The couch.
And then we finally put it. No, I really did think to myself, I think I said last night, you're going to be the only one who can sit there.
Yeah. I mean, But to be fair, your chair that you sit in is about 90% farts.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it's like
I don't think that's
it's
true.
mostly farts right now.
But I don't think that's true.
You know,
But you're just basing that on the amount of time I sit in the chair. No, there's no evidence.
you
You're
sit
just
there-
like,
you just sit there and just exhale farts out of your butt all night.
but you're basing that on me sitting there looking comfortable.
Right. But me also knowing you. This is like, it's not, look, it's fine, honey.
But that's a leap.
Okay.
I'm not denying it, but that's a leap you're making.
I mean, it's I don't have scientific evidence. is the
Right.
first issue. I don't have one of those,
Photometers.
well, no, who was it that did that? There was some news that had a heat.
An infrared?
You know those like in Terminator or whatever they'll have, or the Predator.
Uh-huh.
They'll show the vision where they can see the heat signatures, so they
Oh.
can see heat. It's like, so you're seeing whatever you're looking at. It'll be like
Like a
blue if it's
thermograph or
cold.
something?
Yeah, it's like a thermograph. I'm sure
Okay.
is what it's called. And they did that where they were just watching people on the street,
Uh-huh.
or like at an ATM, and then you'll just see like an orange thing come out of their butt. Like, so you can see, you can actually see the
Yeah.
farts.
Right. So you're just basing this.
Your chair would be orange like all the time.
No, but you're basing this is a character assassination.
No, it's not.
You're basing that off of knowing me, knowing that I like to sit in that chair,
I know you like to fart. Honey, it's not possible for you to sit in that chair as long as you do and not have it be engulfed in farts.
Okay, but again, think of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Would anyone be filling their chair with farts?
No.
Name one person who
Most
wouldn't.
people don't fart.
Name one person who wouldn't be
Who would not be farting
in that chair.
in
Yeah.
that chair? I mean, it's a pretty fart-friendly chair, I gotta say.
It's if that chair could talk, it would say, "Fart on me."
Anyway.
Right. Okay. So you're basing that not on evidence, but just on the fact that, like, oh, you're a person. Oh, you sit in that chair a lot. Oh, you look comfortable. You're probably farting.
You know,
Hang on.
yeah.
I'm bringing it home.
Yeah.
Not the podcast, but this point. Whereas you have been sitting on that couch and both of us have been like, oh my God, the last couple nights. Like, oh my God. Oh my word. What's been happening?
All right. You know who
And then today,
What?
I put it together with my forensics.
Right. You're like the Sherlock Holmes of fart mysteries.
Sure.
You know who farts a lot?
Elliot?
No, but
Owen.
I mean, phrase it a different way. You know who you bet this person farts a lot.
Oh. Okay, so it's you saying it. So it's got to
it's me
be
stating something that's just clearly obvious.
right. So it's going to be someone. It's going to be like one of the people that you gripe about.
No.
Fair. No.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay, so it's not going to be like
Just someone.
give me a category. This is like
TV.
a TV person who farts a lot. This is fun. I need a little more of a.
I mean, if I give you another clue, you'll get it. So.
Oh no, Pat Sajak.
Wild guess. That is not what I was thinking.
Okay.
But it is still true. Still correct.
Is it someone who looks taut?
Can I just tell you?
Yes.
All of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh yeah, why?
Can you name one Real Housewife of Salt Lake City who doesn't
Just beef them up.
just Shia LaBeouf them up?
Oh, who do you think farts the most?
I
Maybe
think one
Lisa
would,
because of all the fast food.
I was going to say, I think people would, in their fat phobia, they might say Heather.
Yeah.
But no.
No.
Lisa Barlow, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. Okay. Do we
Yeah,
have more calls?
I don't. We do. Yeah. Okay. Here's someone with a controversial take.
Okay.
Hi, Alison and everyone. My name is Kyle, and I just wanted to say that I think we should all just grow up and admit all candy is good. All candy is good. It's all sweet. It all tastes good. And if you don't like it, it's just a thing from childhood that you had a trauma about, and that's fine. But now we're all grown up, and we can all like all candy. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
I mean,
I like Kyle's attitude.
Same, but
I
I
really-
disagree. You grow up,
appreciate
Kyle.
this take.
Saltwater taffy.
No,
Airheads. Meh.
saltwater taffy. Yeah, like that's something my grandmother was obsessed with, but she grew up in Massachusetts near Cape Cod, and to her it was associated with her absolutely, like it's a childhood thing. Same thing with Necco wafers. Like people go, oh, they suck,
What
but
flavor is a Necco wafer?
it's like slightly sweet chalk.
Clove?
No,
I'm
they're
gonna
like
look it
fruity
up.
flavors, I think. But it's like, yeah, it's absolutely like a lot of candy is nostalgia for your childhood. And like, is it all good? Yeah, it's all. I think that's true.
There
It's all-
is a clove Necco wafer and a cinnamon.
yeah,
Lemon,
clove-
lime, orange,
Clove
cinnamon,
used to be a
wintergreen,
flavor.
clove.
So yeah, I dig that take. I'm down with it.
Yeah.
There are candies I don't like.
Button candy. There's too much paper on that. But I do like his spirit.
I'm trying to think if there are any objectively bad candies, because people even go like, "What about circus peanuts?" It's like, obviously there are people who like circus
Yeah, or
peanuts
else-
because they still fucking sell them.
Elephants.
Dumbo,
Circus peanuts are orange mushy.
like
I
peanut
think I
butter
could-
flavored orange.
Oh, they're
mushy.
peanut butter? I thought they were orange flavored.
Yeah,
You know what? The hate that Three Musketeers gets is lost on me. I enjoy Three Musketeers like quite a bit.
And listen, I have voiced my I have wondered whether or not there's some sort of conspiracy to keep Rolos on the shelves at supermarkets.
Oh, I like a Rolo.
because who's buying Rolos?
I bought
But
one
people-
when I was 6.
But I think there are people
Who
and
like
that's
them,
their
yeah.
jam. They like the Rolos. Same
Yeah.
thing with like Mentos. Who's buying Mentos? Why are Mentos ever? People, there are people who buy that shit.
Yeah.
So God bless Kyle. Listen. You've turned us around. You've injected some positivity into these festivities. What?
I mean, I know what you're trying to say. You did not nail it.
Well,
but
I wanted to call it festivities, but there's nothing really festive about what this
into this
this funeral dirge of a podcast.
into this fart dirge.
Hey, Alison and Danielle. It's Andrea in Massachusetts. Just wanted to say hi. Wanted to share some Halloween stuff. My son, who is 9, who is obsessed with Halloween, is dressing up as Dustin from Stranger Things, season 3 specifically. And I'm dressing up as Joyce, season 1, because I happen to have a green army jacket and a bunch of Christmas lights, necklace style. And my husband is dressing up as Hopper from season 3. Very specific on the seasons. We actually live one town over from Salem, and I really hope you guys can come visit sometime because we know Elliot loves Halloween so much, and I think you would really like it up here. It's really cool. So come sometime, just not in October or September, because it's crazy. But come anytime and check out all the fun, spooky, awesome things that we have here on the North Shore. Okay, happy Halloween. Bye.
Wait, Salem, Mass?
Yeah, we will. I've never been there.
My only problem with I love the East Coast, or many things about the East Coast. The one thing that I can't get down with is the fucking Dunkin' Donuts of it all. That's another thing, like the candy, where it's like, I think a lot of the love of Dunkin' Donuts, for the most part, is based in nostalgia or in association with like experiences. So whatever. Well, I don't get how
I think
people
people
can-
really do like it, though. I feel a little bit like in you saying that, that is similar to, you know how there's someone in your life who feels that there's no way that people actually like fancy coffee or fancy beer?
I don't think so, because it's not a sophisticated thing, Dunkin' Donuts. It's the opposite. The donuts.
But you think that many people insist that Dunkin' Donuts?
I think that it's everywhere in certain parts of the country, and you just associate the Dunkin' Donuts and you get used to the coffee, and so you like the coffee. That's fine. Like I get it. I get that. But what I don't get is coming out to LA and then saying, "Oh, these are great donuts." Like when you are in the donut capital of the fucking planet.
Oh, you're talking about for some reason I was thinking about the coffee, because I remember when Consumer Reports, which by the way, Consumer Reports is supposed to be so like, well, so objective and stuff, but I haven't looked at it in a long time, but back when I used to use that as like a resource, don't always trust them anymore. I stopped always trusting them because I did not agree with them often, but their Dunkin' Donuts coffee ranked like really highly, and I do not enjoy
People
their
love
coffee that
it.
much.
I don't get it. That's fine. Coffee's like one of those things. For me, it's like when I've had Dunkin' Donuts coffee, it just felt very watered. It just tasted really watered down, but whatever. Who cares? My point is that it's the one hang up that I would have about moving there, because everything else seems great about it, and I would love to go somewhere where they have fall weather.
Do you think you have to have Dunkin' Donuts if you live there?
Yeah, you're forced to.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, no, you can't not have Dunkin' Donuts, so it's like a real bummer for me. Although I hear their hash browns are really good. And what was the other thing she said? I feel like
they were doing different seasons.
I really appreciate the costumes.
Yeah,
that's so fun. I love how specific to the seasons.
Me
I
too.
love when people do costumes like that where you can tell what the fuck they are, though, because I can imagine what those costumes are. And I know I've been seeing a lot of people doing costumes where you're like, it's like some really obscure reference to some movie and it's like, what's the fun of that?
Yeah,
no one knows what you are.
I'm remembering. Thank you for calling. Andrea. I am remembering a dream I had suddenly. You know my blue and white shirt? It's my one like light shirt that I have that I wear too much.
Yeah.
I was going to get that city scene on that shirt tattooed across my midsection.
What?
Yeah, in my dream.
Oh.
And then I got there and I was like, wait a minute. This seems like a pretty intense piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think they call it that in the tattoo biz.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't I start with something a little less big? Like, why don't I just get an E and an O on my arm for Elliot and Owen? Small ones.
Mm-hmm.
And if I like that, then I'll get Kenneth Cole's, toile
Right.
all over my abdomen.
Right.
But then I couldn't decide where to get the E and the O. And I wanted to numb myself first because I didn't want to feel the tattoo, even though I know feeling the pain is really part of the tattoo thing. And I'm like, not for this lady. But it was like, you can decide where to get the E and the O when it's your turn to get the tattoo, because I had to like wait or something.
We're still talking about your dream right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I care, and it feels important. But I was like, no, I have to decide ahead of time because I've got to put the numbing stuff on.
Yeah.
Because I can't just wing it.
Yeah.
I got to put the numbing stuff on because they were like, these are just going to be small little tattoos. Can't you, you don't think you can just suck it up for 15 minutes? And I was like, no.
Again, just to remind people, this didn't happen.
This didn't happen.
This is just a dream.
And next thing I know, I was interviewing Brendan Schaub in my dream because of a podcast clip I was watching before I went to bed where they were making fun of him. But anyway, and then in the dream, I remembered, like, wait a minute. Chelsea Devantez had said to me on the podcast, if you're going to get a tattoo, make sure that you're ready and make sure it's what you want. Like, don't get it before you're ready or else you'll just have regret. And I was like, I need to just pause. Should I get a tattoo, Daniel?
If you want.
I feel like I should. I feel like it's time. But I don't know.
What would you get? An E and
Probably
an O.
an E and an O, yeah.
But then people might think that you're a fan of Captain EO. So you got to think it through.
Yeah. Maybe I just shouldn't get the captain part.
You know what I laugh about? It's so sad. I'll laugh about things that I understand are tragic, and it's not me making fun of the person. It's just like it's like a confrontation with the absurdity of just existence. You'll see these tattoos that people will get of like departed loved ones. There's one in particular where it's like this guy lost his wife and he got a tattoo, and the tattoo makes her look like a zombie. It's such a bad tattoo. I don't know. Like, tattoos are one of those things.
Did you see this on like badtattoos.com or something?
I don't know. It was like, it went around and you're just like, oh no. Oh. I don't know. The tattoo thing, I love tattoos. I follow some tattoo artists. I like looking at their work. I think about getting more tattoos. But to me, it's like, you know, the days of me looking good with my shirt off, maybe they're still ahead of me.
Who knows?
But they're probably not.
Maybe we should get matching ones.
What do you think we should get?
E's and O's.
Where?
On our butt cheeks.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What if it's like a giant E that covers your whole body?
Yes, and you get a giant O that covers your whole body.
Yeah.
They might use you for like a giant tic-tac-toe game, though.
I don't know. All right. Do we have more calls?
We have one more.
Hey guys, this is Heather from Newbury Park. I just left the car wash here on a Saturday morning, looking a little bit like a crazy person. I'm having a Halloween party tonight and doing something nuts with my hair. So I have my hair in those old school pink foam spongy hair rollers.
Oh, right.
And I put them in last night, and I woke up this morning and I thought about all the things I need to do today before the party and realized that I would have to run all of my errands with my hair in sponge rollers. So I've already run into somebody I know at Starbucks. That wasn't awesome. Don't worry, he's a hot guy that I know from high school. It was awesome. Great. Not embarrassing at all. So I was just calling you guys to let you know that I'm going to keep on with my errands. Next I'm going to Target, where I'm sure to run into some more people that I know. All right, guys. Have a great Halloween. See ya. This is Heather. Bye.
The Heather sandwich.
Don't assume, Heather, that it's not sexy to have your hair in pink sponge rollers.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, hey.
I love that. I feel like Halloween weekend, or Halloween weekend, as people are they're trying to make that a thing, is a weekend you can get away with it because it just looks like it's part of your costume. Like, oh, she's already in costume, kind of. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm wondering what her costume is. How fun that she's having a party.
It's Lucille Ball.
Did she say that? No.
No,
but
she
it could
didn't
be,
say
yeah.
that.
How fun.
Yeah. It sounds fun.
Did you peter out?
Yeah, I was thinking about our costume situation, and then I started to think about how much you hated Halloween when we started our relationship.
It hasn't really changed.
And how much you're being forced
I really
into
am.
like a very intense Halloween
situation.
experience
Yeah.
every year. And I don't know. It's funny. I mean,
but it's kind of nice. I mean, that's going too far. It started with the year that we all did Ben and Holly, and your mom showed up. It was the first year of shutdown.
Yeah.
And your mom showed up with our costumes.
She's made all of our costumes.
Yeah. And it's like, I really don't have to do that much.
Right.
Because it's like basically you guys all just wipe my butt in this house, if we're using that as a metaphor, which I decided we are. So it's been relatively easy. It's not my favorite, but most of the decisions are kind of made for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it sort of hits you from both sides, Halloween for you, because like on the one hand, it focuses on something you don't like, which is scary stuff, and then on the other side of it, it involves a lot of planning that's around outfits and stuff. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
really
everything
just
I
something that's stressful
detest.
for you.
Yeah.
But
But you know, because the kid, I'll take over. Because Elliot likes it so much, it makes me have to have
But
affection for it.
that's what I was thinking. I was talking to someone recently who was like talking about a guy that they knew who was from England who doesn't like, I don't like Halloween because they don't have Halloween there, and he was like grouchy about it. And
Or maybe they don't make a big deal of it. They must have it, right?
no, I don't think they do it
Really?
the way we do it here. Yeah, and I was thinking, the truth of it is that Halloween is a child's holiday.
Yeah.
And the people who are, it's kind of like, it's fun because we're doing it with children and we're seeing their experience of it. So you're like, yeah, that's right. When you don't have children, then it's just like we can go to a party and then dress up. So it's like that can be fun, but it's I don't know, it's a different kind of thing. And then there are the people that like to do haunts or whatever, decorate their homes, and then they're just people who haven't outgrown their childhood. So it's like, yeah, if you didn't grow up with it, you don't have that feeling of nostalgia for it. I can see why, and you don't have kids. I can see why it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't get it.
Yes. I would like to end this episode with a question for the listeners. So I'm going to have Sarah Edmondson from A Little Bit Culty on the show. If anyone is watching The Vow, which is about Nexium, the cult that Daniel and I are going to join any day, the Keith Raniere cult. We were into season 1 and now season 2 has started airing. Sarah Edmondson has a podcast with her husband, Nippy, and she's going to come on my show in a couple weeks. And she said to me something that I'm surprised no other guest has said to me. Let me pull up the email from her. Something that was so smart. And I was like, so smart, but also so hard for me to answer. She said, can you send me your favorite episode so I can hear your tone and style? And I thought, that's such a good thing for a potential guest to ask. But I do not know what episode to send her. So my question for you guys is, can you think of an episode that I should send her to show her my tone and style? Like my favorite episode, I don't think I need to send her my favorite episode because first of all, when someone asks me my favorite episode, my brain instantly, for some reason, I always like go to the Jack Burdett episode, but I don't think that's I don't think that's the right one to send her. That's too, I mean, it's a fine one, but it's an old one. And I don't think basically I should send her one that's like indicative of my tone and my style.
It's a weird question because it's like, well, but just listen to the podcast. Just pick an episode yourself, right? Like just go into the podcast feed and pick one that sounds good. Like,
yeah.
Why have you curate it?
Yes.
So, I mean, it's fine, but it just seems like...
I think if she had said, can you send me an episode that you think is a good representation of your tone and style? I think that's what she's really saying. Maybe not your favorite episode.
Any episode represent your tone and style?
I mean, not necessarily. Like if she were to listen to the Thursday show, that might be confusing to her.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I think it's actually pretty. I think it's a proactive question of her, because I think what she's saying is, I'm busy. I don't have time
just
to listen.
Send me something.
Could you just send me something so that I can hear what I'm getting into, so that I'm prepared? Yeah. So my question for you guys is, what episode should I send her? I mean, I could also do this myself. I could also go through and try to figure out like, okay, something that has a mix of like light, but a little bit dark, but a little bit light. Cause we'll probably get into some stuff. But I'm like drawing a blank. Of course I could just go into my feed and look, but I'm curious what you guys think too. So I turn this question over to you. There's a variety of ways you could give me this answer, and I'm going to list them now. If you happen to be at the texting level on Patreon, that is a way. But also If you're on Twitter, tweet me at ARIYNBF on Twitter. I am on Instagram at Alison Rosen on there. You can email me at ARIYNBF show. No, I always said the @ sign. Just email me ARIYNBFshow@gmail.com. Yeah, those are the ways to get in touch with. Am I leaving anything out? I don't think so. And then also, if you like what you're hearing, please leave us a nice review. I have reviews here for iTunes comments of the week, but we're going to do them on the next episode. If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts. I actually have some reviews here that I will be doing on a future group show. And just wait till you hear them. They are going to knock your socks off. 5 stars, please. Tell your friends. It really helps out the show. So I appreciate you doing that so much. Follow me on social media at Alison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. Listen to Upworthy Weekly and listen to Childish. Daniel, where might we find you?
Oh, you can follow me at Daniel Quantz. It's QUANTZ. In case you were wondering how to spell that, at Elon's house, otherwise known as Twitter, and Mark's house, also known as Instagram, and that's about it.
All right. This has been delightful. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank the listeners.
Thank you, guys. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. You matter. Have a wonderful Halloween. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time